Howdy, lieutenants and economists.
The most volatile, evil, disgusting things on the planet, humans. If you have a video request, you can always go to assholeconsulting.com.
Yeah, I am gonna charge you, kids. And that is the importance of not fucking up.
You are such an asshole!
Hello, Aaron. This won't be your usual request. My name is Daniel. I'm 22. I live in Moscow, Russia. You know, a huge-ass country here in Europe and most of Northern Asia. At the present time, I'm stuck with my life and have no idea where it should go now. You seem like a very reasonable man and the type I'd like to hear some kind of life advice from. I understand that economical things there in America somewhat differ from those happening here in Russia, so it's okay if you won't be able to make a very educational response. I'll try to explain my situation in the best English I know. My life started to suck once I failed at Moscow State University. I won at the academic competition while I was studying at the high school and entered Moscow State University's Department of Physics. So my major would be physics if I ever majored. Eventually I was kicked out at the second year because I lacked the discipline. I didn't show up to the studies and got poor grades. So I had decided not to enroll to any educational institutes anymore and go to discover adult working life. It was quite hard to get a job when you're 18 and don't have higher education, but Moscow is a huge and economically prosperous city. Consider it Russia. Yeah, we're aware of Moscow. The whole 80s, we were planning on blowing it up when I was a child. We remember Moscow and the Kremlin and Red Square and all that. Yeah, we're aware of it. My first job was delivery boy at a bank, then I was an administrative and financial assistant at a Russian branch of a Dutch company. It was okay, but eventually I got a job offer from the country's most famous design company, Lebedev Studio, and decided to get it. It was a dream come true because I wanted to work for a company and for that industry. I was working for a project manager at Art Lebedev Studio for about a year until I was fired. They explained that I was lacking skills and work ethic to be a project manager on such important projects I was working on. It was May 2014. From that moment, my social anxiety and depression grew on and on. Without money and a job, I've been sitting on my ass for 6 months without even knowing what to do next. Got in credit card debt, was living jobless and depressed at my parents' place, which still have been very angry and got me into lots of conflicts with them. So I've decided to change my life again, bought antidepressants to cheer myself up, and got a new job. My position is called graphic designer, blah, blah. Yes, I understand my life is a mess, and I like discipline and work ethic, but it doesn't make it any easier. Regardless of the fact I make a job which is about $7,600 a year, which is very low for a wage in Moscow. I'm barely able to support myself without my parents' money. I want to get a decent job, earn some decent cash, and possibly move to Europe or the United States or Canada and live there in my own house to start a family. Because I really don't want to spend the rest of my days here in Russia. I don't feel I fit in here. The only way to get any decent money here in Russia seems to be an entrepreneurial path because wages are incredibly low compared to most Western countries. Yeah, but it's more expensive to live in the Western countries, even in design and IT. So my request is this. What do you think? Which career entrepreneurial path should I take to achieve my goals? Is it a good idea for me to try to move to the Western world? Which paths most immigrants there in the U.S. are choosing from, and which should I consider? Just come here. No, just come here as an illegal alien. They don't give a fuck. They don't check. They might check. You might get deported, but then just come back. Because we treat all the fucking illegal immigrant douchebags from Mexico like kings and queens. Hey, just come in, fuck it. And they're not gonna. I mean, you might get busted, but if you want to know how to come to the country, yeah, you can apply. It had to take forever. Just fucking come here. All right, that's it. But otherwise, before you do that, let's work on you, because it don't matter where you are. You're going to be a fuck up no matter where you go, because you got a big problem with you, kid, and that is you claim to be from Russia, but you sound like you're from America. You sound like one of the typical spoiled little brat pussies from the suburbs here. You got kicked out of school because of low grades. You didn't try. You lacked discipline. You got fired from your job. And then what else? And you don't like it because working is hard. What was your exact words? Then you have anxiety and depression. You live at home. You got into credit card debts. I understand my life is a mess and I lack discipline and work ethic, but it doesn't make it any easier. Fuck you! You think life is going to change and get easier for you? You have a choice. and you tell me which one you think is going to be realistic. You change, or the whole world and 7 billion people with 35 trillion in GDP changes for you, so it's no longer hard. I wonder which one it's going to be. What's going to yield first, you or the rest of the world? Seriously, you could come to the United States. You could come here legally. You do not have the capacity to even support yourself. And you want to come to the United States or Canada or some other place and have a house of your own and support a family? You can't support yourself. Right? So number one, you got to get a real degree in a real subject or a real field. Now, I'm sure the markets are a little bit different over there in Russia. Things might be in different demand. But universally, generally speaking, that means you want to look at something in STEM. So I recommend you buy my book, Worthless. It would be generally universally applied to Russia still. Okay? So that's the first thing you got to do. The second thing you got to do is get a fucking job and keep it. And guess what? All jobs suck. And don't expect it to be easy. And don't expect it, oh, well, I just have depression. Fuck that. Don't give me that American excuse. Do not give me that excuse. All right? Go find a job. Work. You even tell yourself you're lazy. Oh, I didn't try. Well, I got bad grades. Well, what, you're going to get a job? Who's going to pay you if you don't work hard and you don't earn your keep? They got to pay you. You have to produce more economic value for them in order for them to even stay in business. Because if they paid people like you and you don't work up the money to pay for your own salary, not to mention overhead, the company doesn't make money and there's no jobs ever again for anybody. So you have to work harder, you have to get a skill or a trade. You don't have to go to college, you can go to trade school, become a welder or a plumber or something. They have those in Russia. Maybe go work out in Siberia. I'm sure you have a lot of mining I know is out there, and the working conditions suck, but I'm sure the pay is a lot better. And you don't have a ton of people living around in Moscow driving up prices either. Was it Norilsk? Wasn't Norilsk? I think it was like one of the most northern towns. It looked like this drab Soviet-style shithole. It was kind of cool. I wanted to check it out. So yeah, get a skill or a trade, some kind of education. Then get a job. Support yourself and stop living with your parents. And then maybe think about coming to the United States. But I'll tell you this, it's not like it's going to be any better here. Because the problem is you. Wherever you go, the problem will follow you. And I looked into the Russian economy. First time in quite a long time. I don't know how that place ain't booming. I know it's corrupt. I know there's corruption. But you guys have low taxes. You guys have very low government debt. You guys have industries that are diversified. You don't have the political correctness or the fucking environmentalist nut jobs. You guys will go and drill. Where maybe you need some American entrepreneurialism. I don't know. Maybe it's not in the culture. I wanted to drive across Russia and I found out the one road is this shitty ass road. Why isn't there a freaking highway system connecting Vladivostok all the way to Europe? Do you think that'd be kind of cool? Think that would help with transportation a little? So anyway, I'm not a sociological type of person. I am an economist. But right now, as it is, in the western side of Russia, where closer to Europe and heavily populated, there should be plenty of economic opportunity with your low tax. Unemployment's only 5.5%. I'm not, it ain't that much better here. And with your lack of a degree and your lack of work ethic, you will not make it here. You just will not. Or Canada or any other place. There's nothing specific to the United States. Your best bet is to come here and live off of welfare. Like the illegal aliens do. You could be an illegal alien. That's what you could do here in the United States. So, yeah, that's all I got, really, man. It's just quit being a fucking whiny pussy. Quit feeling sorry for yourself. Grow up. And I don't care if you don't like it, because it's going to be worse. I know people like you who, you're young, but they never get over it. And they're in their 40s and 50s. I know one guy who's in his 60s. Oh, always on antidepressants. He's always on antidepressants. Still on antidepressants. Lived off his fucking dad for his life wasted. Just completely wasted. Never married, by the way. I'll tell you this. I don't know what women like in particular, but I know they don't like a guy who can't even pay his own fucking way and live with his parents. My God. So, anyway, yeah, that's what you gotta do. You gotta become a man. But still, if you want to come to the United States, you can be an illegal alien, live off of the taxpayer, and you'll find a lot you'll find a social group here. We call them emo kids or shoegaze. You know, everything woes me. You're called social justice warriors. You'd fit in with them. I'm slamming on them, not you. But yeah, that's what you guys, baby steps, man. Just before you even think about going overseas, let alone buying a house, let alone having a family, before you support kids, you got to support yourself, right? So, best of luck. You definitely do need it. Toodles.